Jeffrey Dahmer soaked in blood. The Unabomber blowing up. Waco, Texas, and Heaven's Gates. Aliens modified, meant for apes. Hitler faked his death and then escaped. Bigfoot and the Mothman. Son of Sam talking to dogs again. Witches, ghosts, and goblins. Mysterious noise and hauntings. Dark arts in the skull and bones. Most celebrities are probably cloned. So if you're feeling all alone, crack a beer and get stoned. I welcome you to the podcast Strange Brew. We're here to entertain you. We're here to entertain you.
It's about to get strange.
Jeffrey Dahmer soaked in blood. The Unabomber blowing up. Waco, Texas, and Heaven's Gates. Aliens modified, meant for apes. Hitler faked his death and then escaped. Bigfoot and the Mothman. Son of Sam talking to dogs again. Witches, ghosts, and goblins. Mysterious noise and hauntings. Dark arts in the skull and bones. Most celebrities are probably cloned. So if you're feeling all alone, crack a beer and get stoned. I welcome you to the podcast Strange Brew. We're here to entertain you. We're here to entertain you.
It's about to get strange.
Jeffrey Dahmer soaked in blood. The Unabomber blowing up. Waco, Texas, and Heaven's Gates. Aliens modified, meant for apes. Hitler faked his death and then escaped. Bigfoot and the Mothman. Son of Sam talking to dogs again. Witches, ghosts, and goblins. Mysterious noise and hauntings. Dark arts in the skull and bones. Most celebrities are probably cloned. So if you're feeling all alone, crack a beer and get stoned. I welcome you to the podcast Strange Brew. We're here to entertain you. We're here to entertain you.
It's about to get strange.
You're damn right it's about to get strange. It's about to get spooky. It's about to get weird. It's about to get conspiracies. All right, whatever. Let's just redo that intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's definitely about to get strange. My robe hood does not want to stay up. I am dressed like a secret society member. I got my cloak on. We are ready to go. We are live on Rumble, X, YouTube, and Twitch. So hello, everybody out there. Yes, Dutch, you are always in the chat. I actually found out what a Dutch rudder is recently. I can't remember now, but if you want to type it into the chat, I will tell all the audience what it is. I saw a joke about it, and I was like, that's what it is. Do you know what Dutch rudder is?
No idea. What is that?
All right, Dutch, explain what it is. Because I can't remember what it was now. But welcome, everybody, back to the show. If you're tuning in on Rumble, give us comments, likes, same with YouTube. Anywhere you're watching this, make sure to like and comment. We never go live too often, but we're going to start doing a little more. And who am I here with?
Once again, you're joined by Brett, the man of many tastes. And today's taste is Grey Goose.
The goose is loose, man. We're going loose. The goose is loose. It's going to be a fun time. I actually really love Grey Goose. It's a great vodka, one of my favorites. And I got my little death mask. You know why they have the big nose?
Yeah,
not because they're Jewish.
No, used to fill the snouts completely full of flowers.
Yeah,
so they
herbs and stuff like that.
To get rid of the smell of death.
Yes.
So. Dutch rudder, what is that?
I don't know. Well, he's taking forever. He's probably been like, I don't even remember what is it? And he's trying to look it up. Oh, I can't do this on this computer. I'll have to do it on this one.
Well, we'll wait for the Dutch.
Yeah, he's taking way too long. No. I'm gonna look it up. At least we're going live, so we can have a little fun with this one. Dutch rudder. It says Dutch rubber. Oh. I remember what it is now. It's when a man masturbates, another person grabs his arm and makes it do the motion. It's some sort of cross between masturbation and a hand job. So very weird.
Gross.
Slang. It's a slang for a condom. Dutch rubber. I want rudder.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think it's when, if someone's jerking you off, you hold their hand for them and you make them do it themselves.
Oh,
is that the idea? Similar to Dutch rudder, but instead you grab your dick while he grabs his dick and you both work each other's arms. That's pretty fucked up.
Man, you'd have to have a best friend for that one.
It's so weird. This is the way I like it.
That's That's disturbing. I can't get that out of my head. Like, people are so creative.
I know, 100%, man. We're testing out a new camera, so we hope that everything goes well and all that stuff because we have a brand new camera. Unfortunately, the app won't let me do it in 4K because it's only allowed in the States for some strange reason. But we are talking about secret societies. Forbidden knowledge of secret societies that should be fun. We have a lot of rabbit holes that we are going to be diving down on this podcast. So let's get loose with the goose.
All right. What's the first thing on the docket?
So, history is full of whispers of secret societies, accounts of elders or priests who guarded the forbidden knowledge of ancient people, prominent men meeting in secret, who's directed the course of civilization and recorded in writings of all people. Obviously, like, everyone's probably heard of secret societies, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's Skull and Bones. We covered that a while ago.
The Knights Templar.
Yeah, they're technically, We're going to be slightly talking about that. That was also an episode that me and Juan did back in the day. But, most people have heard of this conspiracy, so I want to start diving into stuff and talking about the encompassing idea of, like, secret societies. And then we can dive into some more details of actual secret societies. So, and you see this, that all these, they kind of put themselves out in the open, like Freemason. How is it secret if, it's not really kept a secret? You know what I mean? You know why?
I don't think I don't think it's the fact that it's keeping a secret. I think it's just the fact that you just disprove the things that they do, right?
After all, what's the point of a secret society if it's not a secret?
Do you know why? Because they put it out in the open, right? They're like the Freemasons, I've said this at the bottom, they all believe that, they're gaining knowledge and it's a nice brotherhood and we're not evil and there's nothing wrong with us. We don't worship Lucifer. But then if you go to the higher rungs of Freemason, they praise Luciferian like beliefs. It's fucking weird because I've been really diving down a rabbit hole, and the idea with a lot of these people, and David Wilcock was talking about this in his book, is that they believe there should be no moral or ethic guidelines because if there is some sort of guidelines at all, moral or ethical, that you aren't actually free. So that's why they want all this debaucherous shit going on of people, mutilating themselves and dressing up like different genders and like eroding society from within because they want to take away all barriers. So there's like, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's definitely not good. And I've been diving down a rabbit hole on Patreon. So everybody go subscribe to that because I'm watching a documentary that everyone told me not to watch. So I decided to watch it and I tried to debunk it. And that didn't go very well because I couldn't debunk it. It was just people making statements. But essentially, there's weird parables. That's the word I want to use. There is weird coincidences compared to after World War I and what happened in Germany, specifically Berlin, that we'll be doing an episode about, specifically with Brett, because you can do your German accent. But it's like what happened with like brothels and how the society became dismantled. And then there was like a bunch of people that were like trannies and they openly were having like brothels with children. You could literally call up like a 13-year-old girl to come to your house and shit in Berlin.
I don't know. Phones didn't seem that readily available back then, I don't think.
Most around that time, a lot of people did have phones, like specifically after World War I, when they started, it was more of they're pushing the Industrial Revolution and stuff like that to change the world. But if you were rich and prominent, you're probably the ones that wanted the kids, right? All these people that are in secret societies. So they had like, it was very open sexually and perverse all throughout Berlin. That's why even still now in Germany, right? Like a lot of people, there's those like weird nightclubs and they get into all sorts of freaky shit over there. Do you know about that, right?
What? No. I don't know about that.
And then you got like, like Johnny Knoxville goes there and you can go for like a prostate massage and shit, prostate massage. And have you ever seen him do that?
No.
So in the they're like, I think it might be in the show and they're in like Germany. They're like traveling around Europe. And then they go to this, you can go for a massage for your prostate. And then there's this hot nurse. And then he's like, I want her to do it. And then this weird German guy that doesn't speak English, like snaps his glove. And then he's like, no, not him. And it's some like weird, freaky Nazi looking Aryan fuck that like he's like got his little lube on his finger, staying there waiting. And he doesn't understand like English, and then Johnny Knoxville's freaking out, and he's like smiling the whole time. I'm like, not my thing. That would be so weird, too. So funny. So there's many different secret societies throughout our society, and they're hiding. And some of them, like I said, they hide in plain sight, right? And they all meet collectively to strategize how to push the world and fulfill certain agendas, right? You know? So the oldest is the Brotherhood of the Snake, also called the Brotherhood of the Dragon, and it still exists under many different names. It is clear that religion has always played a significant role in the course of these organizations. Communications with higher source, often divine, is similar, or familiar claim in all but few. So everyone thinks that they have some divine source of knowledge from somebody higher above in this reality.
Do they really believe that though?
They probably do, because when they do, so the idea is when they do these adrenochrome rituals, and they're like, when they drink the blood of a child, the idea is that they scare the living shit out of them, and then it accumulates adrenaline in the blood, and then when they drink it, they claim to like see entities and stuff like that. Like they reach a consciousness probably with the lower frequencies and dimensions of where these parasitic creatures like reptilians, and some of them may be good, who knows, the ones in Hollow Earth may be good, we don't know. It could be like humans where some are bad and some are good, some are getting manipulated or brainwashed, who knows, right? But that's what they've claimed, that they have connections to these entities when they hallucinate on, because it's like a drug.
Right.
You seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Yeah. That level of high?
Yeah, he gives him the adrenochrome, remember? It's like, this is pure adrenaline. And that's when he's sitting on the bed and he's like, and he's like freaking out, Johnny Depp. And he like thinks that he's Satan talking to him, that part. That's, and they put it out in the movie to show you that, you know, drip feeding you knowledge, showing you that's real.
Oh, that's disturbing.
Pretty weird stuff, right?
Yeah. That's more than I'd like to handle, but all right.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a freaky secret society I think you might actually really be into.
We're going to call it the Strange Brew Crew. I don't know. So, the secrets of these groups are thought to be profound, that they're chosen, right? Well-educated, few are unable to understand and use them. These men use their special knowledge for the benefit of all mankind. At least they believe so. At least that's what they claim. How are we to know, since the knowledge and actions have been kept secret? Fortunately, some of it has been made public knowledge. It is intriguing that in most, if not all, primitive tribal societies, all of the adults are members. There are usually separated into male and female groups. Like supposedly there is a female Illuminati. What do you think they're doing over there?
I don't know. Do they swap baking recipes? What's up?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just bitching at each other. They're like, Jerry came home from work drunk today, and they're all wearing
knitting the checkered
yeah,
carpet.
Yeah, 100%. That's in. Did you know why the Freemasons have the checkered floorboard?
No idea.
Supposedly, I think it's the duality between light and dark, good and evil. But I just picture like all the women their plan is to actually do something, right, within the secret society, but they end up just bitching the entire time and never finding solid ground because they're constantly bickering with each other. But I picture them all wearing like those women's suits, like, you know what I mean? Like a zoot suit for a female.
No, I just picture a bunch of like ladies in like nightgowns and like just kind of knitting together,
Like cloaks.
Yeah, and the older ones are like have like higher knitting status, and
That's funny.
they just want to be part
crocheting.
of the club. Yeah,
Like when you get to the highest floor,
30 degree of crocheting.
yeah. You can literally create like geometric,
three-dimensional.
yeah,
crochet.
geometric patterns and shit that like correspond with other realities, and it's like stare into the quilt, and then you like start hallucinating and shit. Because they say like
They start giving you like brownies. There's brownies.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
instead they do brownies with adrenochrome.
Yeah.
So they make it a little tasty
Blood
instead of drinking it raw.
Oh,
I'm sure that in
Sickle
Scotland
grannies.
they do shit like that. Like the blood sausage shit is fucking weird, man. I've heard that shit is nasty.
I know. I know the British do something like that. It's like blood and oatmeal.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's really gross. They had
fucking
it with
bizarre.
World War One. It's apparently really bad. But
Anyone out there like drinking blood? Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Me and Juan used to do a show together And then we essentially started doing our own things. He was on this show for a bit doing a series we called Strange Wands. And so we're still trying to stay connected. So I appreciate anybody that came over from Juan. Juan's getting pretty successful out there in Florida with all those gators. So he's connecting some cool people and some people like Sam Tripoli and stuff he's done shows with. That guy is interesting to say the least. It's like all of us kind of crazy conspiracy dudes. So surprisingly, obviously this resembles, but the males usually dominate the culture. Surprisingly, this exactly resembles many societies, civil secret societies. This can only mean that the society is working not against established authority, but in fact for it. In fact, could be said about the maybe the established authority that we have. These people, they claim to want to do better for humanity, but meanwhile they suppress humanity because they think, a lot of them, right? They think that we're less than, that we don't have the secret knowledge, and they've learned. Eventually we'll do an episode about like the secret mystery schools at some point, but they look down on us because we don't have this knowledge, and they think they're fucking special because they do, you know?
Yeah, just beguiling us the whole time.
That's all these people. Like, I knew a dude that was like, he was a young kid and trying to be a Freemason. And I was like, good luck with that, whatever. And he's like, I'm already a 3rd degree. I'm like, yeah, maybe in your lodge, but if you actually do the proper degrees, it will take you quite some time. And then nobody actually knows the truth unless you're at the very top, which is a very small percentage. And then they say that there's another 33rd degrees above our reality that is the degrees of reptilians. So you got the dumb reptilians at the bottom, and then the knowledgeable ones. And that's what they say. We've said this on our reptilian episode, that the ones with long tails are looked at as royalty. Ones with wings and long tails are supposed to be royalty. And then if you have no wings and no tail, you're a worker class, military, stuff like that. They have a hierarchy. And that's why it's weird if they exist in the way that we think that they do. It is weird that a lot of their idea of hierarchy and stuff is put into our society through like the king and queen and all that shit.
Do you ever think they look at Komodo dragons like we look at monkeys?
Probably.
Because look at like, those tiny little monkeys, or like, I don't know what they're called. They got like a white belly on them.
Yeah. Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
Ace Ventura like that one?
Yeah.
Do they look at it like that? It's like, oh, it kind of looks like me. Not really though. It's really
I'm
dumb.
sure, because I've always said that if it is true that we were manipulated through simian DNA, right, through monkeys essentially that they used, or if there was Neanderthals that always have existed, and they use the DNA to manipulate it to make us more intelligent, or did mushrooms do that? We don't know. But I think it could happen. Like there's supposed to be they're alien cat people. Like there's a feline race of aliens. There's all sorts
Pandora.
yeah, I actually love that movie. Do you believe in dinosaurs? Do you believe they existed?
100%. There's actually a theory on that.
That they didn't exist?
No, not they existed, but what they were actually listed for.
Yeah.
Well, like the theory was the Atlanteans built them for engines of war, beasts of burden. So like, so if you think about it, like think about what a Bronchiosaurus could carry, and think about what it needs to eat, right? Mm-hmm. So, and like, not to mention like,
that's an interesting take.
There was a cartoon on it, right? There was a cartoon on it. Do you remember that? It was like when we were kids. It was maybe early to late 90s.
Do you remember what it was called?
No idea.
But
like all these dinosaurs had like rocket launchers, and they would ride them. If you think about it, like if you had a pterodactyl and you just jumped on it,
100%. It's like
some Pandora shit going on.
You've seen what was the first one? Let me think about it. It was like the Nazis on the moon. The second one.
Oh, Dark Side of the.
Why can't I think of this? It's gonna drive me insane.
I think it's the Dark Side of the Moon.
There was part 1 and part 2. Oh, this is gonna drive me insane. And Hitler rides on a dinosaur.
That's part 2.
Oh my god, this is gonna bug the hell out of me.
I'm pretty sure that's Dark Side of the Moon.
No, there's something. Is it?
Positive it is.
So, Hitler riding on a dinosaur movie. Iron Sky. That's
it. Oh.
Yeah, Iron Sky. I was very like I don't know. I was very excited for the second one, and it didn't impress me as much as I thought it would, to be honest. But it was fun. It is a fun time, and I'm sure we'll talk about it sometime on Class Horrorcast. But I don't know. There's people that I kind of believe that like oil is not from fossil fuels.
No.
It's not from
100%.
dinosaurs.
No.
I think it's like the blood of the earth, and it gets replenished. And that's why I've always said, I was like, imagine a product that would never run out, or that would run out, so you could sell it at a higher price. That there's a cap on it. Meanwhile, I think they have like 300 years worth of like oil in the reserves and stuff like that. And if you could just keep hiring the price and making it more and more expensive, so then, you know, you make tons of money off of technically a natural resource. Kind of would be smart if you were part of these secret societies, you know?
But
True.
it was Joe's fault.
What was that? This was the juice was found.
But it was Joe's fault.
Oh, we're gonna get into some deep shit and on this podcast at some point. We're just kind of having fun at this one. I want everyone to enjoy themselves. I realize you can get Rumble now on like PlayStation and stuff like that. I have it on the Amazon things. You can literally cast it to your TV, which is actually kind of cool. So obviously you have all these people working on establishing society in the way that they want it to. This would tend to remove the validity or any argument that all secret associations are dedicated to the destruction of, you know, probably the constitutional society, the constitution of authority. This can only be applied, of course, where the secret society makes up the majority or the entirety of any people which it affects. Only a few fall into this category. Secret societies, in fact, mirror many facets of ordinary life. The stated reason almost always is different from the real reason for societies existing is important. The camaraderie of what they have is especially important, right? You gotta look at each other like brothers, and I've seen, I wish I brought up for this episode, but there's like videos of essentially Freemasons and some of the rituals they do that they like, I will stab myself if I give up my brother, stuff like that, right? Where they do these oaths and pretty much that they will never reveal their secrets, and that if they do, like there's in some of the Freemason stuff, you'll like have your head cut off if you disobey or you like let their secrets go. The epic battle between dinosaur riding Valerians and the evil rulers of Oh, that's kind of Dino Riders cartoon. The one that's fucking so funny.
Yeah, see, told you.
That's hilarious. I don't remember that. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Like, good show. I thought it was crazy.
So, and then obviously, like, sharing hardships or secrets have always been a special thrill to man. That's why in, like, Skull and Bones, right? Do you know some of the rituals that they do?
Skull and Bones?
Yeah.
No.
So, this is stuff like George Bush did, and I think John Kerry. But you had to, like, you had to sit there naked and, like, and you had to, like, masturbate and tell them your secrets and shit. What? I think you had to, like, we talked about it on the episode, but I'm pretty sure that you have to sit there naked and like confess some of your sins and stuff so they can trust you, essentially. Real weird, man.
That's a little awkward.
I know, it would be.
What if you don't have any secrets? Like, what if you're just the most plain Jane guy ever, and you're sitting there?
They don't want you in that society. They need something on you. You know. They need something on you to control you.
What if you just made some shit up? Like,
I know, it's true, you could have. But that's why they got like specifically Mossad and three-letter agencies that used Jeffrey Epstein to get dirt on people, to get them in precarious positions. You know, you have like you bring like a girl on the plane, right? The Lolita Express, fucking creepy, right? And then you're just like, oh yeah, she's 18. And then she's actually like 15, and you're like taking pictures, and you're like, gotcha, she's actually 15, you're fucked now. And that's how they do it, I think, in a lot of ways.
oh,
Weird. But that's we're starting to the truth is starting to reveal itself of really who's in control, and we will be doing episodes on that, but it will not be going to YouTube, that's for sure. No one who undergone the rigors of the boot camp is ever likely to forget that special feeling of belonging and the camaraderie that was shared between the victims of the drill sergeant or company commander. It is an emotional born of initiation. The most potent tool of any secret society is the ritual and myth surrounding initiation. These special binding ceremonies have very deep meanings for the participants. And then obviously you're putting your energy out there as you're doing these weird rituals, right? You're like, and that's what they want. They want the initiation to be kept secret so people don't know. And there's a lot of secrecy surrounding that, right? What do you need to do to get in, you know? At the basic levels of a lot of Freemasonry, for the normies, it is just fucking rinse and repeat, repeating the same shit over, almost like with school. You just like read these books and you repeat the things. They want to make sure you've memorized them, and it seems quite boring.
Yeah, thought there would be some cool shit. Signed up for the wrong brotherhood and bullshit.
I know, I'm bored, man. So
wait, how are they going to get any of the new people to join? Like everyone's basically an idiot.
I know, it's true. Everyone's being used as a useful idiot. That's for sure. Oh, that's awesome. We appreciate Juan. Fucking Juan brings everyone over. He goes deep into the esoteric stuff, and I have my Manly P. Hall book over there. I'm gonna start getting that. This thing's fucking thick.
The thick book.
The secret teachings of all ages. It's huge, man. It's like an encyclopedia for like esoteric knowledge. It's fucking deep though. But also they give out what they want to give out a lot of times, right? They tell you kind of things to actually sway you one way or another. It's thick. You know?
It's thick.
So there's a lot of weird things. So initiations perform several functions which make the heart and soul of any true secret society. Like boot camp, the initiates have to, like, they're in the armed forces, kind of the same thing. Important aspects of human thought that are universally compelling are also merged to train and maintain the efforts of the group of the people to operate in a certain direction. Initiation bonds that the members together in mysticism. So it is all about like a bond, keeping to each other now.
Doing some brotherly stuff. Give us some Dutch rudder, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta do that for your brother.
I'm sure they do a bunch of stuff like that. And they always want to have something on you, right? So they probably get you to do some weird shit. But they do like
that was like part of the initiation. It's like, you got Dutch rudder this guy. He's the high priestess. You got Dutch rudder him.
Well, like, think about like what they do in colleges, man. They like blind them all makeup.
In the Navy?
No.
Yeah, I watched it like a video. It was like in the 60s and 70s. And they're like all on like the top of the aircraft carrier. And they're all like human centipedeing each other, and it's like, fuck yeah.
Is that real?
I don't know. Like, who knows? AI
so
shit has come a long way, but I was looking, I was like, this. I don't know if this is real, but this is fuck.
But they do that in like fraternities, right? They like line up all the new dudes, the fucking freshmen, like naked, and then paddle them, hazing, and it's just like such a weird thing. Or like, it's bizarre. It's kind of gay.
It's pretty gay.
It's pretty gay. And then so obviously, you know, that's what bonds them though, is these gay interactions. Neophytes, a beginner, I guess that's what they call them, neophytes, gain knowledge of a secret, giving them special status. The ancient meaning of a ninphite, that seems right, I guess, is a planted, new, or reborn. A higher initiation is in reality promotion, inspiring loyalty and the desire to move up to the next rung. The goals of a secret society are reinforced, causing the initiated to act towards the goals every day. That brings about a change in the political and social actions of the member. So once you join, it's like your daily life, essentially you have to be pushing this agenda in some way.
The gay agenda?
Yeah. That's what they're doing. And it's weird. So I've been watching this documentary that I'm not supposed to be watching, and it's for Patreon. So everyone go check it out. I'm not going to say anything because it'll intrigue people more. But it'll be out. The first part will be out probably this week. I've already recorded the second part. But it's essentially it's a retelling of history, because the history is written by the victors. So how do we know what we're told about World War I and World War II is accurate in the way that it's been described or depicted? And then so essentially the idea that's coming from a certain country You're not supposed to talk about it. And they're infiltrating the communists, essentially. The communist agenda is to infiltrate society and demoralize people. So they insert themselves into teaching positions, all sorts of positions of power in any way that they can, and they spread out like a virus, almost like veins throughout society and connecting everything so they can control it from within the inside out and collapse it within. And you can see this happening, man. The border crisis and stuff like that is going wild, man. I mean, people are coming in the States. We just let them in legally. But in the States, they're just like literally walking over. I saw a video and it's like, where are you from? And the guy's like, Peru. Where are you from? Colombia. Where are you from? China. And they know that it's open. So they're probably taking this human smuggling operations from the cartels are just bringing people in. It's wild. Have you seen some of the videos, man?
Seen some, but not a lot. Like,
dude, it's fucked up. There's so many people coming in, and it's like, and this is all planned by like people like George Soros. People can say what they want, but I think this is factual that they're openly promoting a lot of this shit that's going on, and it's.
Speaking of which, have you seen what they're promoting now? Is
Goose is loose.
We're gonna drink that goose.
I know that's gonna be gone fucking fairly soon. Like, luckily, we have some Gretzky 99 vodka. It tastes like shit, but it's all the other than like high quality vodkas. Most of them taste like all like Smirnoff. They all taste primarily the same.
Yeah,
it doesn't taste good.
But anyway, back to it. There's a new movie that's coming out called Civil War.
Oh, it's promoting all the shit that's going on.
And it's about to happen, like the Civil War that's about to happen in the United States because Joe Biden's basically telling the governor of Texas that you got to open that border.
I know, which is crazy. They're taking.
We're getting low on adrenochrome. We need them. We need them freshies down here.
And one there's child trafficking and human trafficking going on inside the border. It's wild, dude. And there's a specific group. I don't disparage a group of people. That's not what I want to do ever on the show. Is that people are manipulated and brainwashed? But there is a certain group of people. It starts with a Z or a J, the way you look at it, and they have infiltrated a lot of society. And if you actually look deeper into this stuff, that's why, you look to who you can't criticize if you want to know who's in control of you. And people don't even realize that shit. And then it's just like, I posted something on Facebook calling out the people that are directly behind the border crisis and who is actually pushing it. And they're a bunch of Zionists, and it was taken off Facebook. And I was like, I want to do a video where it's like them. You can't say that. That's anti-Semitic. We're not in control of everything. And then if you say anything against them in any way, then all of a sudden you're deplatformed, you're demonetized, all this stuff, right? Like even on X, man, Elon is not some sort of savior and not some sort of free speech advocate. He lies, and he's representing the wrong side of a lot of things, and people don't even realize that. And then now Neuralink, they tested it out. It's going to be operational pretty soon.
Do you have any idea how many pop-up ads you're going to get if you get that thing in your head?
I know.
It'll be so bing, and then you're just going to be like, I'm going to buy this because, I remember.
Yeah, it's so funny. There's going to be, if anyone that takes that, they're
an idiot.
They're crazy. Yeah. And at the end of the day,
you
right?
Need Jesus.
I want to expose what is going on, but also do it in a accurate way of actually emphasizing the fact that people are manipulated and brainwashed on all sides. And I'm someone who sits in the middle, and I will look at something objectively. I try my best to do that, to look at things objectively and understand that people are manipulated in a lot of ways, right? Just like it in a secret society. So obviously the change is always in the best interest or the goals of the leaders of the secret society. The leaders are called the epitaphs, skilled person, epitaphs. This can be the best illustrated by a soldier trained to follow orders without thinking, and you see this all the time. And even with police now, they have you're not especially in the States, in Canada too. You're not a police officer because you actually want to fulfill the duty and you actually want to protect society and be a civil servant. Most times they hire people that are like psychopaths and have narcissistic personality types. And you can see that happening, right? And then cops think they're all cool because they got a badge and a gun, and then they abuse their power a lot of times. I'm not saying all cops are bad, but if you represent the establishment, you're a bootlicker, man. All those cops, anyone that defends what some of the stuff that cops do, you sir, lick the boots of tyrants. My favorite saying ever now is bootlicker because it describes it very well. Exactly what people represent in this society is if you are cucking for the government, you're in the wrong. If you're justifying anything that the government does that does not benefit the people, right? Like I was going to do a video about this soon for YouTube and stuff and start doing a little political stuff even on my own for Patreon. But the idea is like, what happens when the government doesn't represent your best interest?
Now you got a dictator.
100%. If they're just doing stuff that is openly hurting the people, like here in Canada, you're not helping society. You're not helping the people. You're literally helping your foreign interests and corporations, right?
Speaking of dictator, you made a song about one.
Yeah, well, everyone that is listening to this and watches this after, go look up Fuck Trudeau by the Raptilian. I go pretty hard. It's received a lot of, everyone's liking it. People are receiving it well. I was blaring it in my car when I was driving around today, and it sounds pretty bomb, but I wanted to go deep. And yeah, if you are watching this, make sure to, and listening, check out my music. I'm going to be doing some really in-depth songs. Dutch Runners, I listened to it like 30 times. What up, man? Sweet. Everyone's popping in the chat. That's awesome. The Jays are the ones who have, yeah, you're right, man. I don't know. People are starting to realize it now. And things get unveiled. Actually, a quote that I like that Juan said is essentially that apocalypse can mean an unveiling also. So, starting to get revealed. But at the end of the day, I'll never believe either side in anything are the good guys, because even that guy with the little mustache, I've heard, and I've started to read into this stuff, that he was like, they sponsored him through the Republican Party of the United States to actually so they could create Israel for what it is. But shh, can't say that. We said nothing. I see nothing. So it is weird though. So obviously initiation means the rewarding of ambitious men who can be trusted. You will notice that in the higher degree of initiation, the fewer members who possessing the degrees. This is not because the only members are not ambitious, but because of a process is very carefully selected and being conducted. As they're like, that's why there's not many people on the top, because they're very rigorous when it comes to who they want to bring into their inner circle. I imagine they have to be
a certain bloodline too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's so funny because I wonder if they really believe that their blood is connected to Jesus, because that's what a lot of them claim, that like the monarchy and the royals, they believe that when we start getting into like the Jesuits, we're eventually going to do episodes on that. It is curious because some of them, at least what I read, they thought that their bloodline was connected back to Jesus.
But he didn't have any kids.
I don't know. There's some weird, because I don't understand why that, because that's the connection to the royal family. At least that's what they claim. But I think it's something a lot deeper.
Could be.
I know.
Be a drunk fuck.
Yeah. You can do a pretty good Arnie.
Stop being the bitch and give me some more Grey Goose.
Oh, Grey Goose. Okay, see, I can't do it. Every time, even Aaron was making fun of me. Every time I try to do an accent, it like goes from like, okay, it sounds okay, and then it fucking gets ruined. The goose is loose. Do you want more? Jesus Christ.
I'm an alcoholic. Good here. Come on now.
Pour more.
Give me the goose now.
No, let's just have fun with this fucking shit, because that's the whole point of this episode, is to have a little fun, hang out, get a little couple drinks in. Yeah, so there's a lot of weird things to do with secret societies and how deep they actually go and how well they're actually connected, right? Because like you got the Brotherhood of the Dragon and all these different secret societies, they're all connected. So, yeah.
I like how Kanye's in the back there.
Yeah, because he's part of it, but he may have woken up, and it's just funny because everyone is like, maybe Kanye was right, because he starts to break it down. He even said that his mother was used as a ritualistic sacrifice. Like he says that when he's like in a car and somebody interviews him, and to the outside world, to the normies, they're like, oh, he sounds fucking crazy. But then if you start to read into this stuff and really look in deep, like I do think that people can't even imagine how probably deep this stuff goes. And the people that can't even grasp our reality and what's going on in the physical would never be able to grasp how far this extends outward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these people sitting in the room, all controlling. And
my question is what exactly is the end goal? What is it that you want once you've got it all? Once you've gotten what you want, there's nothing left to want. What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want with me? Like honestly, you have every
control power.
Yeah, you once you got it, now what? Now you're just gonna hide out in your bunker somewhere in Colorado and just live on the high horse of adrenochrome. Is that it? That's the plan.
The idea, right, at the end, they want to lower the population, and they've stated this, right, that humans are the problem and stuff like that. So they openly stated that and it was on the Georgia Guidestones, and it's like, who ripped those down? Was it part of a psychological warfare, another psyop? But they said 500 million, and they state this, that's what they want. They want the society controlled by AI. And then I'm always wondering, like, if AI does exist already throughout society, and maybe it already is in control in some way, is there not people from the future that could be coming back here to try to fix it?
Unless there's no one left in the future.
I know, because I watched Terminator 1 and 2 recently, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, we're going down that direction. It's weird, because there's a lot of things that...
if they like... Why would the computer, out of all AIs, pick that individual, like Arnold Schwarzenegger? This is what I think a human looks like. I'm gonna pick the most freak-looking human being and put him in a machine, put a machine inside of it, and then send his ass back.
Some of the weird, like the practical
line.
effects when he's like ripping off his and you can see his android face underneath. I'm like, doesn't hold up too well.
Oh.
But that's the creepiest thing, right? That it's already AI is already controlling stuff, because once it gets so intelligent, right, it'll start to spread and control everything. And
who's to say that the AI doesn't go after these secret societies, right? If it can decode all their shit and figure out everything, what if it happens if it goes after them?
AI is the good guy in the end. It's just, there's a lot of weird things going on.
No, it's funny because like you watch Age of Ultron,
yeah,
like that one. Ultron spent like 5 minutes on the internet and it's like, these humans have to die.
Yeah, I know. And that's what
he wasn't too happy.
That's what they could believe, right? But they want essentially everything to be controlled they really want to terraform the planet for these reptilian entities. And that could be true, because supposedly they can...
Do they really think the reptilian, like if they say that, like, do they really think the reptilians actually give a shit about these people?
They're useful idiots, in my opinion. So they use them, they possess them, right? That's
do they just say like, oh, don't worry, we'll put you in a reptilian body. We have that technology. And then once there's a low enough people, they're like, oh, we were just kidding. Like, so we're going to barbecue your ass now.
The idea is that all these people, like, who knows, Trudeau and all these people that are connected to all this stuff, yeah, they are actually being pushed in the direction, because they're told that they're gonna have something at the end of this, that you'll have control over some humans, or you'll have control over this. So they've been sold this pipe dream from these entities, I'm sure, or people in power, and they don't even know, are aware that these darker entities are in control, and then they sell them like, you're gonna be on top, you're gonna be in control, we'll give you all these powers. And that's, once you have enough money, like Bill Gates, once you have enough money, then it doesn't matter. The control and power, you're a narcissist, you need that. And that's what everyone's like, why all these old people making our decisions, and they're almost on their deathbed, why do they want to push so hard to control humanity and to chip them and to collapse society? And it's because they exist beyond this reality, that they supposedly, that these bloodlines, they have sex within the family to keep that bloodline going of gross. This pure
still gross.
Yeah, I know, it's for possession, I think, for these entities to be able to possess these bloodlines, as David Icke has brought to attention to a lot of people. But also the idea that they even use reincarnation, that they will have kids and then they'll die as the grandfather and then reincarnate as like the kid, the grandchild, shit like that, and then they'll be able to connect and stay within this reality for thousands of years.
Yeah, but the thing is once you've lived every single experience, what's after that, right?
There's always more.
I don't know. Personally, like
you're crazy.
Yeah, sorry.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm out of control. I apologize for that.
I don't know. There's some weird stuff, because like at the end of the day, right? Like you would believe more or less that there were demons, but then it's the same thing in my head, right? Like,
where are we going?
I don't know. I'm just looking around. See what we got.
I don't know. It just seems kind of like counterintuitive. Like if you could have lived in the best time that you possibly could, like what era would you pick?
I don't know, because I would eventually want to get in the Tartaria stuff. at some point where it's like maybe we had advanced technology and they lied to us about the Dark Ages and shit. Because we don't necessarily know. All our history is a lie, right? There's some weird stuff going on, but like it is about power and control, and they want to dominate over society, and they want to turn this into like it's already a prison planet. Because I think that you reincarnate and then it's like slavery, but that's an episode for another day. So obviously, like they get rewarded for being part of the secret society. They're carefully selected. Most members have never proceeded beyond this point, never learned the real secret purpose of the group, right? Because they're trying to claim that they need them for this or that, and then you're like stuck at a certain rung. And it's all like, that's why I'm like people that are like claiming they're like 30 degrees or 30, whatever. I don't believe you. Maybe in your small town or wherever you live, it could be possible, but not when it comes to the actual top. A room full of people control the world, like literally. Okay, it's a room full of people. I truly believe that actually understand what's going on. The Frozen member, so this is weird. So like the Frozen member from that point only serves as a part of the political power base, as indeed he has always done. You may have guessed by now that the initiation is a way to determine who can and cannot be trusted. A method of deciding exactly who is become part of the hierarchy. Decide during the initiation by asking the candidate to spit upon the Christian cross.
Wow, thanks guys. Fucking dick.
That's what some people do with funny little hats. They like spit on churches, spit on fucking Christians' funerals. Like on
what I find interesting is like out of all religions, everyone likes to spit on that one in particular.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe because it's the true one. And I'll never be religious, right? But you are. But I'll never be like, I have an open mind. And I think that there could, especially from all the books I read, there could be one almighty God or some entity that thought reality into creation. But if you actually mathematically break all this stuff down, there's like a binary code like we have on computers in this reality that now scientists are starting to find out. And who created that code that is encoded into our simulated reality? Somebody did. If we do live in some sort of simulation.
Yeah. Could you imagine that?
That's fucking scary though. That's a scary thought. So a method of deciding exactly who can become the top, right? So like, and they have him spit upon the cross. Candidates refuse. The members congratulate him and tell you have made the right choice. So they actually flip it because a lot of times they'll tell you to do things, and then if you end up doing it, right, you're kicked out, and or maybe not even kicked out, but they weed you out and be like, oh yeah, good, but you've really done the wrong thing, but you don't maybe know that you've done the wrong thing. Because there's a lot of secret societies that are based on religion. So you have made the right choice. A true adept would never do such a terrible thing. The newly initiates might find it discerning that he or she never advances any higher. If instead the candidate spits upon the cross, he or she has demonstrated a knowledge of the mysteries and soon will find him or herself for the next higher level. See, like I just said, that they're like, if you spit on the cross, they'll be like, good job. And then if you don't, they'll be like, good job. But then you won't get brought up any higher. So they do these things, they trick you, Or
maybe they just tell you outright, just like, oh, you can spit on this cross, but you won't move on if you don't.
100%, right?
And then they get thinking oh, is it worth that?
Mm-hmm. And they promise people riches of all sorts. I'm sure they promise them a bunch of stuff. It's like governments do. We're going to do this for you, and then they do nothing for you. The mystery is that religion is but a tool to control the masses. Knowledge or wisdom is their only God, through which himself will become God. The snake and the dragon are both symbols of wisdom. Lucifer is the personification of the symbol. If it is Lucifer who tempted Eve to entice Adam to eat the tree of knowledge, thus to free man from his bonds of ignorance. And that's what they claim, right?
Yeah, but
that's what they believe. They think he's the good guy because he gave them knowledge to clothe themselves and all that shit.
Yeah, but if you would have followed, God's laws, then you would have literally had the Almighty Creator giving you everything you ever needed.
Yeah, paradise. But there is some contradictions, right? In the New Testament, the Old Testament, you have like fucking a vengeful God, and then you have nice God.
Which is kind of interesting because it's like,
I think it's been tampered with.
Yeah, I think it was Paul. Paul did it.
It's always
Damn it, Paul.
Because like right, I
alien.
want to do an episode at some point, right, about the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Sumerian text to really dive into the roots of what we base religion from, and then eventually about like I'll be getting into this. I download the PDF of the Synagogue of Satan. That's going to be a fun read. I might do it for Patreon or something like that, and starting to decipher a lot of the stuff that's going on. And I would be interested in diving into like what do we base all this stuff off of, and the people that like read the Talmud and all this shit, and it's pretty much like satanic shit. It's very weird. So the worship is a lot different from study of knowledge and science, and the technology is Satanism in its purest form. It is a secret symbol of the all-seeing eye on obviously the pyramid. We always have the all-seeing eye, always connected to all these occult symbols and shit, you know? The Illuminati, you know? And the Illuminati know. You always know. Have you heard that song?
No.
What? I gotta show you that shit.
The Illuminati always know.
No, it's a Weird Al song, and it's called Foil. Instead of like Royal, it's Foil. And then he talks about like black helicopters. A lot of shit. It's actually weird. And then at the end, Patton Oswalt rips off his face, and he's a reptilian. It's like Weird Al's like telling his audience that this stuff could exist. But he's like, I am always protected by this hat. And he's got like a stiff hat on. It's pretty funny because I do believe they put this stuff out in the open and tell you and then mock it to make it seem like it's crazy when it's actually a lot of the truth, right? That's what they do, bro. That's what all these secret societies do. Have you ever seen this movie?
Oh, what the heck?
Stanley Kubrick?
Hey, go back to that picture. It looks like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, oh, it does actually look like Nicolas Cage.
Creepy.
I know. Creepy deepy. Let me look this up. Oh yeah, Eyes Wide Shut. I was like, I'm pretty sure I was right when I was thinking about what it is. Eyes Wide Shut. I saw it a long time ago. You see Nicole Kidman fucking naked. It's fun. But she's promoting bug eating. Weirdo. She was her and Jennifer Aniston, as weird as it is, because I'm not usually into like skinny girls, but they were like my celebrity crushes when I was a kid. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I know why Jennifer Aniston was, because of Friends, and they never wore bras in that fucking show. So when I was a kid, it was awakening my sexuality, and she was hot. She's still fucking hot, but she's a blood drinking reptile. Same with Nicole Kidman. And then as soon as
I love how you say that without hesitation.
No.
It's just
It's true. It's what she is. But then when she started pushing all the clot shot shit, I was like, God damn it, you can't be my crush if you're fucking a satanic blood drinking weirdo. So that's that's.
I can just see you rejecting women. Get away from me, you blood drinking reptile.
Well, some of them definitely are. Our society is like collapsing from the inside out. Destroy the nuclear family. You know, it's funny. Dutch did the same thing. Yeah, everyone loved she's hot shit, right? But like, she's definitely like drinking adrenochrome. Like, look at fucking Cher, man. She looks almost the exact same as she did when she was in the 70s. When she was like 30, she looks close to the same because she's.
Do you think the ones that last longer and look better as they get older have like a higher debt to pay?
Probably. I'm sure, because the idea is like if you're selling your soul to like Satan or whatever, or these secret societies, I do believe that you get everything you want in this life, like a Taylor Swift. You get to be the famous music star and all this shit. And then in the next life, you're a slave or something like that. You go through like trials and tribulations because you have to pay off your karma debt. Or they're reptilian creatures that understand the fabric of our society, so they manipulate it and they manipulate our free will, because you're like Star Trek, right? You're not supposed to a society that's evolving, like a planet, I do believe that they have some sort of rules that you're not supposed to infiltrate and manipulate them and persuade.
Do you think that's why they want it down to 500,000? The ones that actually know.
Yeah, they want just a slave race of people, in my opinion. But like, it is weird because then if they are these entities, they've supposedly learned how to manipulate our free will. So that's why they show you, like the WEF will show you all the stuff they're doing, the UN. They'll put it right on their website. So like, you're going to be happy and you're going to fucking own nothing and all this stuff. We're going to put you in a little tube and you're going to live inside a little pod. And you're going to, they tell you all the stuff that they're doing because they're telling us out in the open. And if we go along with it, then we're giving our consent technically. Silence is compliance, Sawyer's going to show up and he's going to hear us screaming out the window.
Yeah, leave him.
Undesirable effects of secret societies and their aura of mystery has sometimes given the reputation of being abnormal associations, or at very least strange groups of people. Whether their beliefs of the majority, they're no longer considered antisocial. A good example is the Christian Church, which was at a time a secret society under the Roman Empire. In fact, the open, friendly secret society, the Vatican, actually ruled most of it, if not all of it known to the world at the time. And that's why eventually I do like to, we did that Strange Mysteries episode that did well, and I would like to dive more into the secrets of the Vatican at some point. I think it would be fun because there's some weird stuff. I feel like I could dig and find some weird shit.
Definitely.
All the Jesus artifacts. Do you think they actually have some of that stuff?
100%.
His blood and stuff?
I don't know about I don't know about his blood, but definitely they definitely got some artifacts. They probably have the original cross that he was like nailed to.
It's I don't know.
That he had to carry.
So
like that one. Probably like the whip they used to like beat him.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. Like
yeah. One of my favorite movies is Passion of the Christ. I'm just kidding. We used to like fast forward to the part where he was getting tortured when we were kids, just because it was so brutal. It was like a horror movie.
Oh, it was. Yeah, you could.
Do you think Mel Gibson knows some shit?
100%. But like at the same time, how is this guy like embedded in Hollywood?
But then he calls out a lot of stuff recently.
Yeah, but like, how do they allow him to keep? Do they just like keep him around? Be like, oh, he's just crazy. See, look at him.
Yeah,
and that's probably why they keep him around. Like
he helped. I think he helped at least fund, which I actually want to watch because it's now
Sound of Freedom.
It's Sound of Freedom. I think he helped. It's weird because he calls out all this stuff, and he said that like he saw Christopher Walken. Can you do a Walken impression? That's actually the watch. He had a watch stuffed up his ass for 2 decades. I don't know that fucking quote. But he saw him like shapeshift. Supposedly, there's an interview of him talking about it. That he's turned into some sort of like devil fucking creature. Oh, who knows if that's real though?
But like you gotta remember, Mel Gibson
is crazy.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's an Australian. Of course he's crazy.
I know, so weird. I don't know. I think he knows some shit.
I think he does too, and I think he knows like because I remember him like talking about an interview like all the Hollywood hills, how all of the houses are connected.
What do you mean?
Every single house in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
Where all the actors live because they all live within the vicinity of each other.
Yeah, he saw him float. Saw Christopher Walken float. So all the houses would be connected.
They're connected.
So then they could traffic children underneath them.
Yeah. Sorry, I punched the table accidentally. My fury. Yeah, no, you're saying that all of these houses are connected because, these reptilian fucks like to stay in contact with their puppets.
100%, man. I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on, and it would make sense that all the houses would be connected, and then they go underground. Look at the fucking Jew tunnels, man. That's fucking that's the guy crawling out of a fucking grate. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, apparently that was for trafficking children.
Yeah, I believe that, and I think 100%. That they're. It's not everybody.
What is it with people and trafficking children? Like, what is it like? Are you just not like skilled enough to go out with a woman? Is that it? Or you just don't have the guts?
It's literally the reptilian shit. That's why it goes all back to that, because at the end of the day, why is it so prevalent? Why is it such a huge thing in our society? Why is it happening all the time and no one's talking about it? That's what I said. I was like, everyone is talking about like what's happening in Gaza, which is horrible. Like I think what they're doing, and everyone wants to like hate Muslims. People's hatred of brown people has come out just the same way it did 9/11. And then all these bankers and these Rothschild reptilian fucking fucks are like, yes, love it. Like they're loving what's going on. And then everyone kind of shows their true nature. And then yes, there's extremists in all groups of religion.
Do you ever think they get like the reptilians get hungry and they're like, you know what I need tonight? I need some Palestinian
Yeah.
I need. And they're like
barbecued Muslim.
Yeah, that's what they want. They're like,
well, Arabic.
Yeah, they're like we got all these places. Like we can invade this. Whole bunch of kids go missing. Part of the hospital. It's like we can get some serious food going.
Well,
we want a smorgasbord. We got some friends coming over.
Yeah, there's a woman called Peggy Kane. She seemed a little crazy. She hung out with her chickens and stuff like that, but she was deep into the reptilian research, and she was able to decipher messages, and she would take audio recordings and play them backwards, and you could supposedly hear the real intention of what they were saying. And she played George Bush Sr. talking about World War I or II, and then I think it was II, because they said that it was a feast, that the Russians dead in the snow essentially was like a feast for them. And I don't know if they mean like physically feasting on us, because it's like we eat cows, they could definitely be eating humans, or is it they were probably using the soul energy, and they call this loosh. I'm almost done David Wilcock's book, and supposedly that's what they call it. Like this energy is called loosh. Very strange.
Do you think the energy you just explaining just there, loosh, is that same feeling you get when you meet somebody that's like, I don't feel good about this guy. Yeah. He's gonna stab me in my sleep. I just know it. Like
it's like the negative energy, that food source that they need, and that's why everything in this world is so negative, and they're causing wars and famine and destruction because they can constantly feed off this energy. Yeah. Like imagine
maybe that's why they like the adrenochrome. Maybe that's why they do it, especially to children, because it's so intense. Yeah, the reptilians get a meal, and these, blood drinking, fucking reptilian people are just.
They say the age just before puberty is like prime time. That's the best energy. Supposedly, it emits the most frequency because it's like the most innocent and most pure. They haven't been corrupted yet, and you see this. Like children are born into our society and our world, very innocent and pure. They reincarnate again into slavery here, and then you see that slowly their innocence erodes by the society that we live in. And you see this all the time, right? Look what's happening. Why are these, I believe it's a communist agenda that they're pushing all this gender ideology stuff. Karl Marx was a Jew. So, and it's like, they all are, and I'm not saying that everybody is bad. No, Jews, yeah. I'm not saying everybody is bad in any way. I'll never state that. I'll never say that, because you're part of a specific religion. There is bad Muslims, there is bad Christians, there is bad people in general on all walks of life. Doesn't matter who you are. There's a lot of people that justify death and destruction and chaos in the guise of religion. Oh, I did it because God told me to. George Bush said that when they bombed all the fucking people, he's like, God told me to do it.
Man, could you live with that kind of like conscience? Just saying shit?
They don't have a conscience though, right?
Yeah.
Right? If they don't have, if they believe that.
Do you think that like the adrenochrome actually like tears apart your entire sensation for humanity?
Probably your soul. They have no empathy, right? This is why they're probably getting possessed by evil entities, because these entities don't view us the same way, right? So they're unempathetic because we're just a food source. The same way that people look at cows, man, just fucking shoot them in the head, eat them, whatever. The same.
Eat the babies.
Yeah, same way. We're not in Arkansas, okay? Most of the secret societies are generally considered to be antisocial. They believe and contain elements that are not maybe harmful to community in general. This is exactly the case in some instances. Communism and fascism are secret societies in many countries where they're prohibited by law. In this country, the Nazi Party and the Ku Klux Klan are a secret society due to the most fact that their general public is disgusted by them. Nobody likes fucking Nazis and like fucking Ku Klux Klan. Wow, have you seen Django Unchained?
Django Unchained? Yeah.
My wife didn't cut the eye holes right. I can't see shit out of here. I wish
Jonah Hill is just like, oh shit, it ripped mine. Does anyone got an extra bag? No one's got an extra bag.
That's so funny. Because, and at the end of the day, right, I'm diving into this big research, and I'll never believe that anyone is justified in killing and dismantling society.
I don't know. Me personally, I don't believe in any forms of government other than being a libertarian. Where
I'm like an anarchist.
Libertarian. You're free to do whatever you want as long as it doesn't harm anyone else.
100%. And then people like shit on libertarians. And I'm more libertarian if I were to put myself in a category. I try not to do that because I think as soon as you label yourself something, you essentially...
Yeah, but anarchy is not exactly the right way to go. It's like, oh man, someone killed my wife, but like I don't have the tools to retaliate, so like I'm going to enjoy a life of crime and pillaging, right?
Yeah.
And then it just breeds more chaos, right?
And if you actually look in the heart of what anarchism means, it essentially means the same thing as what libertarianism is in some regard. If everyone thinks it's about chaos and destruction, it's really not. It's about like live and let be, essentially.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's not exactly anarchy, is it?
Anarchy now. Anarchy now. I am an antichrist. I am an anarchist.
It sounds like you're saying enter key now.
Fucking love the Sex Pistols. It's crazy because he called out John. He called out what's his name? Good old Jimmy Savile way before it happened. John Linden or whatever. Is that his last name?
John Lennon.
No, not John Lennon. But the early Christians were a secret society because Roman authorities considered them to, be dangerous to the imperial rule. The same was true of the followers of Islam, the Drusid and the Yazidis in Syria and Iraq considered the Arabs as a dangerous secret society dedicated to taking over the world. The Arabs today think the same about Jews.
But it was the Jews' fault.
Catholics and Freemasons used to precisely the same ideas about each other, right? They all consider each other bad. They're all fighting it with each other. Like, you're the bad one. No, you're the bad one. And that's what I'm saying. Once you group yourself and you lump yourself and you label yourself, they can use it against you. And that's why this whole society is just divide and conquer. Like, I don't think all gay people are bad. Like, I don't know.
I think a lot of gay people do a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah, they could, for sure. And the thing is, there is people out there that is normal people that want to live in peace and all that shit, and that are against what's going on. And I don't know if it's the stuff in the water. I don't know if it's just like you were just born that way.
They got fluoride in the water, turning the frogs gay.
Well, the diet, what is that? Diazepam? Is that it? The chemical. They proved Alex Jones right that was real. That it was turning frogs gay. That's like a real thing. Might not be diazepam. That might be the wrong word. But there is a chemical that is found that can actually so imagine what these chemicals, and people pouring their drugs down the toilet and then it goes into the water system. And they say that there's a lot of drugs that are inside the water. Not just fluoride, but like weird feminine drugs like estrogen and stuff like that is now in the water. So and it's diluting people and change them. And who knows? I'm a believer that some stuff that people shoot in their arm directed by doctors that are just people trust them because they wear a fancy coat and they have a DR at the beginning of their name that could alter a lot of the stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm a person that believes in live and let be. At the end of the day, that's what I truly believe. Is like if you do what you want, man, do what you want.
Interesting.
We will still be recording when you get here. Just come in and watch TV. Okay, I gotta figure out to fit Sawyer in here at some point. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could just like pop him dead center, have him sit on the ground.
In many primitive or backward societies, initiates into the higher degrees of the group involve subjection of trials, which are not frequently result in death or insanity for the candidate, are not infrequently resulted. Oh, so it's like they push you into, you're subjugated to these trials, just like hazing and stuff like that in colleges or whatever, right? And then they kind of push you to be kind of go crazy and shit like that. And then so it can be seen that social right and wrong is not the yardstick in estimated the value of a secret society. I can't go up any higher.
Yeah, sorry, I got to straighten my legs to at least 90 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
So my legs stop falling asleep.
Yeah. Gotta get Brett a better chair.
It's not easy being this tall, honestly.
Yeah. Brett's a monster. He's a creature. He's a creature of the Black Lagoon. You and Billy, man, need to have a tall off.
Tall off? Oh, man.
Skinny little Billy, man. He'll be back on the show.
If we had a way off, he'd definitely win that.
That guy's skinny as hell. I love Billy. He'll be back on the show. He's finally getting a mic so we can participate again inside the show. So obviously there's weird things going on in maybe initiates and even hunting societies consider it admirable and compulsory to hunt heads, and which is weird. So in Polynesia, infanticide and debauchery were considered essential for initiates in their society, where the tribal code needed members who indulged in these things as pillars of society. So you needed people that like to kill children in the pillars of your society, because it's the idea, like I keep saying, is that they don't have any moral or ethics in any way.
It's disturbing.
Yeah, many of these attempts have succeeded, but not always lasted. Many desire to be the one elected is something that no power on earth that has been able to lessen, let alone destroy. It is one of the secrets of secret societies. It is what gives them political base and lots of clout. Members often vote the same and give each other kind of preference in daily business, legal, and social activities because they all work with each other, always shaking each other's hands. Like this is I can't do it, but shaking the wrist is a Freemason. You got to pay attention to these things because they do.
My dad knows the handshake.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, and they all mean something different, right? And even I'm sure in pedo groups, they do the same thing, right? It is weird, right? If you look at like the boy lover symbol, it's the exact same as the Trudeau Foundation symbol. Literally the exact same. Look it up. It is under the FBI of like essentially like a dangerous group is the man boy lover, whatever the fuck they call it. And it's like this triangle that goes in itself. And Trudeau's foundation is the exact same symbol. This is not done not on purpose, it's definitely done on purpose. Houses of worship and sacrifice existed in ancient cities. They were in fact temples built in honor of these many gods. These buildings functioned often as a meeting place for philosophers and mystics who believed to possess the secrets of nature. These men usually banded together in seclusion, and they, in these philosophical and religious schools. So that's the mystery schools that eventually we'll get into. So the most important of all these ancient groups is the Brotherhood of the Snake, which we will eventually be doing an entire episode on, which is going to go pretty deep. I already have the information ready. I have a couple of sites that I can take it from. And it was simply known as the mysteries. The snake and the dragon are symbols that represent wisdom, as we said. The father wisdom is Lucifer, also the bearer of light. The focus on worship of the mysteries was Osiris, the name of the bright star that the ancients believed had been cast down to on earth. The literal meaning of Lucifer is the bringer of light or the morning star. After Osiris was gone from the sky, the ancients saw the sun as a representation of Osiris. It is claimed that after Lucifer fell from heaven, he brought with him the power of thinking as a gift to mankind. And that's from Fred Gittins. Nice. Symbolism in occult art. Because it's weird, because is Jesus, right, the Son of God? It actually means son. S-U-N. I gotta be quick. Because that's in ancient society, that could be true, right? At the end of the day, we don't frankly know,
I mean, other than the whole part of the Bible where it's actually a walking man that resurrected and died for mankind's sin. But other than that,
But how do we know that's true, though?
it's in a book.
Have you met him?
I don't know. Have you walked on the moon, but you know it's there?
Do we, or is there a projection?
Is it a projection?
Because it's fucking weird, man. The moon shit is weird. That people think that it's like, I even have one of my songs, David Icke talking about it, where he's like, if it's an illusion, you no longer have the metal and stuff to build the moon. It's a projection. It's actually just a projection. And like, I don't know. I'm starting to believe that this reality
I saw something today that you might actually like. NASA.
Never a straight answer, yeah?
Never a straight answer. So if you look at it, those two little red strikes that go through it?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the tongue of the snake.
Oh, I know,
because it's the truth.
Yeah.
But like NASA spelled in Hebrew is deception.
Yeah, of course it is.
I am very, very sneaky, sir.
They're very sneaky. They know what they're doing.
Very sneaky.
Watch your step and remember, Big Brother is watching.
Yes, Big Brother is always watching. And that there's a lot of symbolism is a thing that it registers with our subconscious and stuff like that. It's fascinating. So Plato was one of these initiates, supposedly, one of the most greatest minds to ever live in the initiation into the secret society by secret and dangerous rites, some of which were very cruel. Some of the most famous were Osiris, were known as Isis, Osiris, Sabiasus, and Celebi. I might butchering these pronunciations. I always do. Nasha in Hebrew means deception, or not, yeah. Interesting. We got to get you on the show, bro. I know you know your shit, so we'll have to start putting that together with your new show. So Plato was one of the initiates, and he describes some of these mysteries in his writings. Plato's initiation encompassed 3 days of entombment in the Great Pyramid. During this time, which he died symbolically and was reborn and given the secrets that he was to preserve. Plato's writings are full of information on these mysteries. So, and have you ever heard of this, of them going into the Great Chamber and stuff like that, and the Great Pyramids, they're going in these chambers? You heard about that?
Heard about that.
Did you hear about what
pyramids were for?
No, but like Aleister Crowley supposedly went in there, saw shit. I want to do a big deep dive into Crowley at some point. Me and Billy did talking.
Nasha.
Yeah.
No,
Weird.
nothing.
Yeah, fucking weird. So and so I eventually want to dive in this, but Napoleon, the general, right? In the movie that's coming out is probably going to be super propagandized, but he supposedly went into one of the tombs and laid there, right? And he like shot out of his body supposedly, and then he saw these dark entities like that spoke with him and shit. I'm pretty sure it scared the living shit out of him, according to some of the writings, that when he did this, he was like frightened for his life, and he thought that he saw some absurdly spooky stuff. Weird, eh?
Man.
It's sort of a secret society, kind of skull and bones, kind of creepy group.
Holy jeez, look at that.
Do you think it ever crossed their mind to like deconstruct the things? Or at least one of them?
I don't know, it'd be pretty hard to do that. Like it is weird. Like me and Billy have talked about the pyramids, but like there is definitely secrets within it that I would like to. I'm going to keep reading and keep diving into the research that I've been doing because I want to know, and that's why it's like some of them take you down rabbit holes that people are like, no, it's anti-Semitic, that's this, that. But when you start looking at it from objectively, there's things that don't add up. And like I'll repeat this again, I'll never believe that a group of people are bad, but there is people inside of those groups of people that maybe use that group of people to conduct all sorts of heinous shit, and then they're protected. You know, can't talk about it because you'll be called a racist or a white supremacist or all this type of bullshit that they try to label people with. But meanwhile, they're the people that are actually racist and white supremacists and stuff like that. Like Trudeau, like, right? Because everyone are racist. Bro, you wear fucking blackface and all your friends are like weird, like aristocrat, fucking bureaucrat weirdos. And he's a puppet full of shit. I think he's possessed, man. I think, and like I said in the song, I think he sacrificed his brother for ritualistic murder. That you have to give up something, usually a loved one, to be able to go to these higher degrees. And he's definitely been promised some stuff. And I think they do humiliation rituals to him all the time.
100%.
That's just like his thing. It's like what are we doing today? It's like the Rothschilds, like you got fucking Jacob Rothschild been like, you know what we gotta do? I think it's a good day to humiliate Trudeau again. Let's do that. So funny. It's probably true. So
and then they just like at the world stage when the cameras are on, like, let's just ignore him today, guys. You don't even see us. Like, let's just ignore him. Like, make him look like an idiot.
So even in Manly P. Hall's book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, this bitch, I haven't even dived in that yet. I'm still reading David Icke's book because that's also a really thick book. I'm trying to like do all the podcast stuff while accumulating all this knowledge. So the illuminated of antiquity enters its pyramid of Giza. Portals as men's, they came forth as gods. Jesus. But that's what they do. They go to the pyramids, and then they have some hallucination, and they believe they're talking to some sort of entities and stuff. The ancient Egyptians' word for pyramid is Kuyati, which means glorious light. Mr. Hall says also the pyramids, the great Egyptian temples of the initiation. So according to many, the Great Pyramids were built to commemorate and observe the supernova explosion that occurred in the year 4000 BC. Dr. Anthony Hewish, nice name, 1974 Nobel Prize winner in physics discovered a rhythmic series of radio pulses, which he proved were emissions from the star that exploded around 4000 BC. The Freemasons began their calendar from AL in the year of light, founded by adding 4000 to the modern year. Thus, 1990 plus 4000 would be 5990 AL. So their calendar is completely different. So that's why I've always said we don't even know what fucking day of the year it is. We don't even know what month it is. We don't know what year it is. They've been lying to us.
It doesn't matter. We're all going to die.
No.
Just get used to it.
We need to ascend to a higher level of consciousness is what we need to do to break free from these psychopaths that rule our world. Look at these douchebags, man.
Yeah, who
you think
the fuck
you're
dressed
cool?
like that?
I know, look like a freak. Freak!
Loser. The only way to ascend higher is to release the goose.
Yeah, release the goose. But you know, if it is true, they try to disclaim this that I read out because Google's a fucking propagandist search engine that they're trying to like alcohol means soul, like the where we get the word alcohol from means like the devourer of your soul or whatever, essentially like the soul eater. So
do you think actually alcohol does that?
I think it calcifies. I love drinking and it gets you a little loose. You have a little fun with yourself, but I do think it calcifies your pineal gland, and it's probably one of the worst things you can do to suppress your spiritual ascension. So at some point I'm going to stop, but
I don't know about that because my mom is she's very spiritual and she is also a raging alcoholic.
But the thing is, there's also people that believe it's spirits, right? Because you connect to spirits when you're drinking it. That I've used to play Ouija board and shit when I was drunk, and I had these weird feelings. I felt like I was connected to something. And it might be in my mind, but like I've definitely had like almost like weird, not anyway in psychedelic, but like weird connections to stuff beyond what the physical reality is under the influence. But then you have the idea that they can possess people. Wine and spirits. It is weird because like I enjoy drinking and I think it can help you loosen up and maybe connect to stuff under, but who knows? But it also it's horrible for you. It's literally a poison, just as much as mushrooms is. But mushrooms I don't think do affect your health negatively like alcohol can. But it is weird. I've definitely felt weird shit sometimes drunk, and you know something's around.
It's not just the alcohol.
It may be. It may very well be. The first secret that one must know to even begin to understand the mysteries is that the members believe that they are but truly mature minds in the world. They believe that those minds belong exclusively to them. The philosophy that follows is the classic secret society view of humanity. When a person of strong intellect is confronted with a problem which calls for the use of reasoning, the reasoning faculties, they keep their poise and attempt to read a solution by garnering the facts bearing upon the question. On the other hand, those who are immature, who when confronted by small problems are overwhelmed. While the former may be said to be qualified to solve the mystery for their own destiny, the latter must be led like a bunch of animals and taught in the simplest languages. Like sheep, they are totally dependent on the shepherd. Their able intellect is taught the mysteries and esoteric spiritual truths. The masses are taught the illiterate, they're pretty much told a different interpretation. It is interesting because while the masses worship the five senses, the select few observe and recognize in the gulf between the symbolicness of the great abstract truth. Which is interesting. So it's in a very fancy way. They're saying that they bear the knowledge and they understand it, and we are taught nonsense. Like the Rockefellers, right, took over the education system. We all know that John D. Rockefeller went on the board of education, actually created it, and you know when they were asked like, what are we going to teach them? And he said everything about nothing. And you look at school, and that's primarily what it is. Like, other than basic English and math, which back in the day, right, the idea is that you went to Sunday school, and you only went to school once a day, and then other times you'd be out on the farm, and you'd be working and stuff with your family. And then you were taught about religion and stuff like that in Sunday school, and then they wanted to, they realized, supposedly, that you can indoctrinate somebody within 12 years. It take 12 years to fully indoctrinate, not 12 years. They initially thought it was, I think 12 years or 18 years, something like that, where they could essentially, I think it's 12 years because you start them at 4 or 5, and then you can indoctrinate and brainwash a person within that time limit. And then just like there's a KGB experiment that they brainwashed people, right? And then they told them a specific thing and conditioned them and brainwashed them to believe in this specific thing. And then they tried to show them that they were brainwashed. It took 3 months to do this. And then they would not believe the truth. They would not believe that they were brainwashed. And it took them 3 to 6 months or something like that. And I'm like, that's what's happening in our society, man. You're like conditioning people, man. Mushrooms are for the children. It's like Wu-Tang is for the kids. So it is weird because there's a lot of weird stuff to do with that. We all like, I truly believe I hated school, man. I hated authority, all that shit. Not my jam.
Yeah, I like school personally.
Really? I'm surprised actually.
I wasn't good at
not to say that you're fucking an idiot. I just like imply that I thought you'd be a little more rebellious like I was.
No, I just did a lot of dumb shit. Like I got stuck in the tech hall.
Yeah.
I'd build a pocket bike in auto class, made out of like an old chainsaw. I'd ride that shit down the hallway, like take a condom, fill it full of acetylene, light that shit on fire, and walk.
That's fuck. I actually can see you do a lot of that.
Oh
shit.
yeah, like I was like.
I was ruthless.
Oh man, I was a savage.
We were just talking about this too last night. We were at a little work party, and I was like, we used to like when we realized that so bad.
Man, you gotta tell me when the work parties go on.
I know. I was gonna tell you just to show up because we're supposed to go to Boston Pizza. Then we went to Kelsey's, and we were talking about like I was just talking
was
about,
that Saturday or last week?
No, yesterday.
I
know. She just
uptown.
popped in. Oh fuck! Fletcher came, and then
with you.
Yeah, I know. So funny. And then so we were just talking about some of the shit we used to do, and I was talking about like fucking what I used to do in like music class, spitting into people's like all my friends used to spit in this guy's trumpet so bad. We put like paper in, he'd be like trying to like we're just ruthless to people, and then no wonder why, karma. And when you hurt somebody else, you really hurt yourself. It's true because we're all connected. The initiated elected community they communicate directly to gods, and then question marks says aliens who communicate back to them. The masses sacrifice their lamb on the altar and facing a stone idol that they can neither hear or speak. Just like Moloch and then the owl in Bohemian Grove, the elect are given knowledge of these mysteries and are illuminated, and thus known as the Illuminati or the illuminated ones. The Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
Who is that?
Who do you think? Is
that Matthew McConaughey?
It does sound like him, doesn't it?
Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
I'd like to drive Lincoln.
That guy's a fucking piece of shit. I like gun control, even though I influence people to use guns in my movies.
Yeah, totally true.
Yeah, I don't like that guy. I thought I had another Illuminati one. I swear I did.
You know which one the Democrats are because they like to, try and take your guns from you.
100%. Oh, I had another fun Illuminati one. I don't know where it is. That would have been funny. It's, I think it's Randy from, is this it? And no, damn it sucks. I had one that was like Randy from South Park, and he's like, the Illuminati's controlling everything. So the elected have received this knowledge, the Illuminati, illuminated ones, the guardians of the secret of the ages. There are 3 secret societies that can be directly connected to the modern descent are these cults. The Rosh Hashanah. I'm not going to pronounce some of these secret cults that well, but he's a menace. Dennis the Menace, bro.
Oh, you?
I don't know. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. Mithras, their counterpart. Mithras, the builders, whatever. The idea of like, that's why people think that Jesus was, there's a Mithra was like Jesus, born of a virgin mother, same kind of idea. And then they think these stories get recycled throughout history. Or I've said, like, when me and Sawyer have talked about this stuff, is that like, is it a reincarnation over time of this Christ entity? I don't know. That's why I question everything.
See the new guy?
Yeah, I don't.
What? I'm not a menace.
You are a menace. Dennis the Menace.
I used to look like that kid when I was a little younger. Not gonna lie. Maybe not so much now, but like Yeah, when I was a kid, I looked like that kid. Not even joking.
It's so funny.
I looked like the perfect Aryan child.
Yeah, he does. He does look like that. It's funny because me and Aaron for Class Horrorcast, make sure you subscribe to the horror podcast that I do with my buddy from Ireland. We did our first offshoot episodes. Not out yet. I call it the off-brand. We did Small Soldiers.
Oh, really?
Such a good movie. I don't give a shit. That movie's great. And then so he's like, you know what we should do next? Dennis the Menace. Because like that could be classified as a horror movie. Like Christopher Lloyd when he plays that weird, creepy bum guy.
Oh yeah,
he's like eating the apple.
That could have been way worse.
He
could have drank Dennis's blood and turned him a drinking chrome.
I know, it's true.
He could have been a drinking chrome. Fuck, you don't ever know.
I'm surprised he didn't fucking R-word him underneath that tunnel, that fucking bridge that they're underneath.
Dude, I was really hoping like
he was gonna do that.
Me, because I'm raised in the country, I was like, he's got a rope around him attached to a train. He's got to get severed in half, 100%. But then the rope breaks. I was like, bullshit.
I know. So, for instance, common to the Brotherhood are, there are many things in common with Freemasons of today as well as other branches of the Illuminati. For instance, common to the Brotherhood are the symbolic rebirth into a new life without going through the portals of death during initiation, reference to the lion and the grip of the lion's paw in the Master Mason's degree, the 3 degrees, which is the same as the ancient Masonic rites before the other degrees were added, the ladder of 7 rungs, men only, the all-seeing eye, of special interest in the power of society in Afghanistan in ancient times called the Rosh Hashanah, which we'll end up doing an episode about that, and I'll probably learn how to pronounce it properly, but we'll be doing all sorts of stuff like that. Yahshua, the Christ, was his final incarnation. To be honest, that could be fucking true. I kind of got chills reading that. It's fucking weird. I don't know what the fuck's around us now. Creepy. It's probably Sawyer. It's probably downstairs. It's all dark, man. That's why we make fun of this shit, because we have to find light in the darkness. Gotta wash ourselves of this with humor, right? The special interest, right? There is a lot of the illuminated ones. There are also references to the mystic cult going back throughout history of the House of Wisdom at Cairo. There's a bunch of weird stuff, and it's gonna be interesting to be able to get into some of this stuff, especially maybe one day with your father, if we could get him on the show, even if we'll have a black light over him. Can't really see him in the car.
I honestly like having him like his like face kind of like within the shot and what he's saying kind of really like makes you really think, because you look at him, he like, I don't know, like the last like 10 15 years
he just reads and reads
for like 12 hours a day.
Crazy.
I've never seen anyone read as much as this guy. I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. I wake up, he's on his computer doing his research. I come home at night exactly where I left
Every
him.
time I see him, he's always reading some shit he's on like before it's news, and he's just constantly reading all the time.
If you ever have any questions about anything, this guy knows it.
And that's why we were debating on like maybe having him on for this episode. But I said to Brett that I have a feeling that when we do an episode with your father, that it will need to have it be more rant style, because me and him are going to be going back and forth. I bet about a lot of shit.
I think honestly, I'll probably step out of that one, because let's be honest, I'm just going to be a fifth wheel on that one.
No, it would be technically third wheel. Who else is there? But fucking God and Christ.
But you got it.
But at the end of the day, you should still be part of it. But you should come as like the observer, because you've heard me and your dad talk, and you're like, what the fuck?
I have no idea. Oh, can you guys start going off? It's like, okay, sitting here, okay. Whatever.
When I first met your dad, I was like, whoa, the amount of shit that he knew blew my mind.
Yeah, you basically got a hard on for him. It's like, holy shit, your dad knows. Like, he shouldn't know any of this shit.
I know, that's what I said. And the thing is, I've never met someone his age that is aware as he is. So the major tenets of this cult were they're abolishing private property, right?
Yep.
The elimination of religion, the elimination of nation states, the belief that the illumination admitted from the superior being who has desired a class of perfect men and women to carry out their organizations in direction of the world. This is why people like the guy with the little mustache believed is because he took stuff from Madame Blavatsky, which eventually we'll do an episode about her. That's going to be very long. But she was a mystic, essentially, in some regard, traveled all around acquiring knowledge. And then she talked about the Lemurians and how they were white and the Nordic races of beings. And we've done the Reptilians, we've done the Greys. So at some point, we're going to be stepping into the Palladians, which it could, in some form is good, in some form is bad. We're going to be talking about the Anunnaki. You've been doing some research into that stuff.
Yeah, it was. I thought I had watched a video on them today, and I thought it was pretty wild.
Yeah, that's going to be an episode. So we're really starting to dive down a rabbit hole on this podcast, and I want to do this. We're also going to do a lot of fun true crime stuff at some point, like on the Patreon right now. You can go watch our Bloody Benders episode when we were just trying out the camera for the first time. So all that stuff, that's why you subscribe, because you get all this fun extra content. So obviously, the desired class of men and then women to carry out, obviously, the direction of the world, believes in a plan to reshape the social system of the world by taking control of individual countries one by one. And this is happening right now. And even with this documentary I've been watching for Patreon, when it comes out, I don't know, it seems like it's actively happening in society today. There's weird correlations to what happened in the past, even just 100 years ago, after World War I, to what society is going through now, pushed by communist Zionist agenda. But
try to mutter it.
Yeah, we need like code words. That's why I said I was like the government is bad. Like start saying shit like that.
Schmooverment.
And just like have to make up everything, use code words. And the belief that after reaching the 4th degree, one communicate directly with the unknown supervisors who had imparted knowledge into the initiates through the ages. Wise men will again recognize the brotherhood. The important fact to remember is that the leaders of both right and left are small, hardcore of men who have been and still are illuminists or members of the brotherhood. That's why I'm like, everyone's like, I think in reality, to try to control this, I do think we have to, in Canada, right? You have to, I don't think voting matters at the end of the day, but for the people that do, the idea would be that you have to vote conservative. I believe the PPC, even though I don't trust Maxime Bernier, is that you first have to get that conservative movement in there, and at the next point, maybe start voting PPC. Because at the end of the day, if these conservative bootlickers, because at the end of the day, that's what you are. If you believe any politician in the words that they say, then you are technically licking the boots of the government. You are a cuck in some regard. That you watch the government fuck you, because the right has done horrible shit in the past. A bunch of horrible shit. All this, like George Bush was a Republican, was he not? Like all this stuff that has been gone on. And they're controlling both sides. But I feel like we have to push towards eventually getting a government for the people. I
think George W. Bush, was he I'm pretty sure he was a Democrat.
Are you sure?
I'm
Someone must know, because I'm not from the States.
Neither am I, but I'm pretty sure he was a Democrat. I think the last Republican before Trump was it Ronald Reagan?
George Walker Bush, born in American politics. Yeah, a member of the Republican Party.
Was he?
Yeah, his father and him. So yeah, I knew that. Well, yeah, George Bush, Democrat, Republican Party. Yeah, because other people are fucking snakes, man. I always say to people, I was like, you're marching left and right into the New World Order. And that's quote my quote. I never heard that from anybody. That's my statement. Okay, I'm putting that on a shirt.
That's mine.
So, and then obviously they've been made, there have been many members of Christian or Jewish or religions that are only used to further their own ends. They give allegiance to no particular nation, although they've used nationalism to further their cause. There's only concern is to gain economic and political power. The ultimate objective of these leaders in both groups is identical. They are determined to win for themselves undisputed control of wealth, natural resources, and manpower of the entire planet. And as this comes out, because this won't be released on audio platforms, maybe I'll release it next week, we will be diving into, I had Tiana Truth Seeker back on. She's great. This chick just does nothing but read, just like your dad. She reads constantly. She's always reading. There's stuff that I'm like, I messaged her on her Instagram. I was like, she does a video. I'm like, that sounds like an episode. And she's doing tons of podcasts and actually trying to awaken people. And she's top notch. Cool shit. So me and her did a whole episode about the UN and the agenda for 2030. And you can see that it's happening. They're trying to do this stuff and dismantle society. So obviously the intent to turn the world into the conception of a totalitarian socialist state, communist state. In the process, they will eliminate all Christian, Jews, and atheists. If you just have to learn one, but if you have just learned one, but not only one of the great mysteries. So we've just only touched the surface level of how deep this rabbit hole really goes. But that's at the end of the day that like the people it's not Christians that are inherently bad. It's not Jewish people that are inherently bad. It's not Muslims that are inherently bad. It's none of that shit. They've been manipulated in some regard. Right? But to be honest, I know you're a Christian. I have family that's Christian. There are some of my fucking family that's Christian is the nicest people, most loving people that I've ever met in my life. And that push against all the stuff that's being pushed on us more than any other religion that I can see. Muslims do it too, and I wouldn't say Jewish people do that. They kind of subservient in some way.
They're too busy building tunnels, let's be honest.
I know. And it's not everybody. I'll never say that. But the idea is like the Talmudist people that believe in the Luciferian order, they're trying to like essentially erode society from within. Communists at the heart of it are Zionists at the end of the day. If you look into it, it goes pretty deep. Yeah, I don't trust any government either. I think the only people that are going to hold the people in power accountable are the people. I always say this. So let's break down to end this. We're just going to go through a list of all these different secret societies, and at some point we'll probably be covering this. So the Order of the Quest. This is pretty interesting. Do you know what that's about at all?
The Order of the Quest?
Can you guess? Could you guess?
Nope, not a clue. I don't think I've ever heard of it. The Order of the Quest?
Yeah. What would they be on the quest for, you think?
For the strongest beer?
No. Think about it. Think about what
strongest quest. I don't know. Probably.
Think about the Holy Grail. They're on the quest for that's what I think it's about.
Eugenics?
Yeah, that's true. I think it could be for the Holy Quest of the Grail, supposedly. I think that's what it is. We have the Jason Society. I thought I had a picture for the quest. Guess not.
Where do they find all these like members and whatnot? Like what brings people to like, you know what? I want to be part of this club. I want to be with these boys because I feel like they're going somewhere. Or is it just?
I actually don't really know because there's so many different secret societies and they all have the same goal in mind, but they're all different in a lot of ways. The Jason Society could be a very interesting topic to get into at some point. One to probably doing that.
What's
what? The Jason group.
Remember that one from Eric? Aaron said triangle.
The Trilateral Commission.
No. Another one that was Diagolon.
Oh, that's a podcast. Fucking, I actually am trying to get. You know what's pretty crazy? I've been talking to him. I think I just heard Sawyer come in. I'm actually trying to get Jeremy McKenzie on the show. We've talked. I'm probably going to get him on. The guy that created that. Because it was the idea of going from Alaska
to Florida,
and it's his podcast fans. It was like how we call ours the hose heads, and for the women the hosettes, which I just made up recently. Is like that's our fan base, right? Is like we're the fans of the show. We call them hose heads. But they call the group Diagolon, and they labeled it like a terrorist group. I can't wait. He's been in court recently, but I want to talk with him, and I'm going to push to do it because me and him align in every way that I have seen so far when it comes to our political ideas and how like all the ruling class is bad. So we have the Rosh Hashani. It's essentially a Muslim secret society.
You got the Aladdin sword up there.
Yep. Arabian Night.
Sounds just like it.
Jason and man, we'll get you on, and that'll be pretty interesting because I feel like you could drop some knowledge on the people. And then you have obviously the Kabbalah. That's technically part of a secret society. You know what Madonna worships. That's always fun. I did not put these in order, so I just do not know.
Good job.
I know. Oh, that one's a fucking PNG. Did not know that. Yeah, I can't find that one. I thought I had it. So, and then you have obviously the Knights Templar, which you can go back and listen to.
Who are those guys anyway? Just give me a quick rundown of who those guys are. What exactly do they stand for?
So the Knights Templar were, I think, before Freemasons. Me and Juan did a whole episode on it. I acquire so much knowledge that some stuff needs to get kicked out. But they were on the quest to pillage certain place. The Knights Templar, the white mantles with the red cross, were amongst the skilled fighter units of the Crusades. So they were prominent in Christian finances, non-combative members of the order who made up such much as the 90% of their members managed a large economic infrastructure throughout Christendom. So they were Christians that would kill and pillage in the name of Christ in some regard.
Got it.
But they also were searching for stuff. They were looting and keeping secrets, and they were hiding knowledge and artifacts that they were finding throughout it. And you can go back and listen to the episode me and Juan did because he broke everything down. But it's pretty fascinating. We could probably do like a live special with your dad, maybe talking about them, something like that. The Knights Templar, obviously, we got those bad boys. And then you have the Knights of Malta. Look at these douchebags.
Wow, what a fucking loser.
Look at their weird little costumes, man. That's fun.
They kind of look like they wore like their night dress. Like, oh, I'm about to go to bed. Oh, I'm so tired.
Then you have the Knights of Columbus. So I actually...
Columbus?
Yeah, so I actually know somebody that is part of this. Someone in my family. He's very Christian. I would love to get him on the show. He's one of the funniest people that I know. But the Knights of Columbus is a real secret society. There's some of those. That's when it started supposedly. But that will be an episode on its own if I can get my family member to come on.
Swastika I see.
Yes, you do. We'll get into that. Next is the Jesuits. Don't show that too much, but that is the secret history of the Jesuits. Jesuits we're going to definitely dive into. That'll be fascinating. Obviously, then you have the Masons. These douchebags. Fuck the Masons. Not a fan. Not a fan. I don't care if you are. Yeah, but there's some more shots of the Templar. So
why do they, like, what's their idea of, like, kill and pillage in the name of Christ? Like, that's their idea?
Well, here, we'll break it down really quick. So the Knights Templar was a large organization of devout Christians during the medieval era who carried out important missions. That's why I know they were going to do stuff. To protect European travelers visiting sites of the Holy Land while also carrying out military operations, a wealthy, powerful, and mysterious order that fascinated historians and the public for centuries. Tales of the Knights Templar, their financial and banking, their accumulates for they were banking, they were influenced wealth throughout the world, and they were working on the behalf of Christianity during the Crusades that are still circulating throughout modern culture. And they the idea is after Christians armies captured Jerusalem from Muslims controlled in 1099 during the Crusades, a group of pilgrims from across the Western Europe started visiting the Holy Land. Many of them, however, were robbed and killed as they crossed through the Muslim-controlled territories during the journey. Around 1118, fucking a French king. We're not gonna get through this. Listen to the episode me and Juan did. But essentially, the Templars set up a network of banks and gained enormous financial influence. Their banking system allowed the religious pilgrims to deposit assets in their homes. So they're kind of like they held money and then distributed it in some regard. Kind of, but they did kill and pillage in the name of Christianity as part of it, right? And then we have the Jesuits, the Masons, the Order of the Rosicrucians.
Do you ever think they have like an annual meeting? And it's like, all right, this is how we did this year. What'd you guys get up to? And then it's like, how many people did we deceive this year?
100%. There's actually a funny video I saw recently of a guy. It's like, so it's like a joke based on the Illuminati, and it's just like if they were actually like a fraternity, they had like it's a guy and he's like in a corporate office, and he's like, what did you do today? He's like, well, I did this or whatever. I'm like, what did this guy do? And he's like, well, his father helped create 9/11, so he stays here. I don't know why. He's a fucking idiot. And it's like, what have you done today? It's like, well, we added fluoride to the water. We caused another false flag. And then it's like all these dudes that are like connected throughout the family that are like ranked based. It's a joke, right? Of the office building, of what it would be like to work inside the office of the Illuminati, and the type of things that they were actively doing, right?
Right.
Obviously, we have the Illuminati as one of the secret societies, which will be a full episode at some point. We're going to be diving into all this stuff. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. That's definitely true because the Rosicrucianaries, that's what I'm saying. The Rosicrucian, they really influenced a lot of the stuff that's going on. I knew, it's so funny because like I knew someone that was a Shriner. They seem to think that they're good people riding around in their little fucking cars, but meanwhile they're doing all these secret deals. My next door neighbor.
What's a Shriner?
It's essentially like a branch off from the Freemasons, and eventually we'll probably do an episode. Shriners, formerly known as this is pretty interesting. Formerly known as the Ancient Arabic Order of Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, is an American Masonic society established in 1870, and the headquarters is in Tampa, Florida. I literally live next door to. He's the guy I told you about. He smoked pipes all the times.
Yeah.
He's the only guy I knew that smoked pipes. Like
Before me.
Yeah, and had all these pipes, all the cool shit. And his house actually smelled pretty good because all he did was smoke a good tobacco. But he was a Shriner. It's pretty interesting. Charlie's going off. So then the executive members of the Council on Foreign Relations, obviously all this stuff we'll be diving into at some point, but I want to break down some of the secret societies that we're going to be diving into at some point. The Nazi Party, that was a secret society technically, and you also have the Communist Party.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like they're having a good time.
Yeah, they always are destroying society from within. And then there's one just called The Group.
The Group?
I don't know. I try to look at it.
There's probably like 519 trucks or some shit.
The Brotherhood of the Dragon, the Rosicrucians, and the Royal Institute of International Affairs, and the Trilateral Commission, and the Bilderberg Group. So all this stuff at some point we will be talking about and diving into, and it's going to be pretty fun. Like, I'm pretty excited to get into some of this stuff because obviously like the Illuminati will be a big episode. That will be a lot of fun to dive into that stuff because all of these in some way could be sort of connected, but even like Japan has a secret society, China has secret societies. A lot of them are based on dragons and reptilian shit. This is why they celebrate dragons in the way they do. But this is a pretty in-depth conversation. I enjoyed myself.
I agree.
I think that we need to branch off, right? And start to Charlie, shut the fuck up.
That did it?
That's funny. So we'll be diving into a bunch of stuff. Everyone that is watching and will watch, remember to comment, like, subscribe. We will appreciate it in every way. And go subscribe on wherever you listen to podcasts because there's tons of episodes me and Billy did back in the day that are hilarious. So make sure to join in. Brett's got nothing to shout out because he doesn't exist on the internet. Nope. You can buy shirts like that at strangerpodcast.com. Fucking get naked. Just kidding. You can also, get this shirt on one of our websites, the TeePublic site, Fuck the New World Order. I should put up the Fuck Trudeau thing back. And I just put out a shirt for everybody out there that says Fuck the World Economic Forum. So you can get that at the site, www.strangerpodcast.com, TeePublic Stranger Podcast if you want any of the shirts. And then how you support us is tell everybody, tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell everybody, you know? Smart man Brett is, for not being on the internet. But tell everybody this podcast or word of mouth. We want to spread the word, but we have some really deep stuff coming. Like I was supposed to record with Aaron the Karzarian Mafia episode this morning, but due to time restrictions, I wanted to make sure that we did it all together. And that's going to go really deep into a lot of stuff that kind of relates to this shit. So make sure.
I'm gonna rip your eye out and piss on your brain, you alien dirtbag.
Yes. Let's take back our power, everybody. Power to the people. I don't know. I'm fucking. Let's get in this. The goose is getting loose, man. The goose is getting loose. So subscribe, support us, and I will love you. I will love you so much. Okay. So everybody out there, stay strange, motherfuckers. Au revoir. That was a little sketchy of a wave there.
What?
Goodbye.